And welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. And guys, we're just going to get straight into it today. It went from being Halloween to being Christmas Eve for Raider Nation. Guys, big news coming out of Las Vegas today was that, hey, we let go of Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler, and the Patriot Way. And we are now back to the Raider way. And we now have Antonio Pierce as our head coach. And we got his intro today, fellas. So we're going to play his little intro. And let's get his intro going.
Very easy when you lose a teammate, a coworker, somebody you're close with. We take that very seriously. There's lives and families that's affected by this, and we understand that. But it's a new day. It's a new chapter. It's a new era. It's a new mindset. What is that mindset? It's that of the Raider pride, the commitment to excellence, and making sure our alumni, our fan base, and Raider Nation are proud of what they see on the field. What does that look like? Tough, passionate, effort, energy, that enthusiasm that you see when we all watched our kids and these young men who are now pro athletes play when they're in Pop Warner. Having that love for the game. We're on the same page. Champ and myself, our staff is connected. We had a great team meeting this morning. Everybody was stilly-eyed and focused. We walked in with a smile on our face. The synergy, the energy in this building, and the personality of our players will reflect on who we are as Raiders. This is a great opportunity for myself. I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I don't take it lightly. I'm sure there'll be questions about why, how. Those will all get answered. But this is about the players, this is about the Raiders, and this is about this organization. And we're tired of losing. It's not a good feeling. We're a production-based business. We're about competition, being competitive, and play with an edge and a swag and a certain confidence that when we walk out that damn tunnel, that everybody watching TV can see it, and a product on the field is something we're proud of.
Guys, obviously he came in with being a ball of fire. That got me hyped up. I know that gets other people around him hyped up. Guys, hey, Mike, let's start with you. What do you think, baby? We were talking about last week. These guys were tied at the hip. They're together. Hey, obviously, we thought differently, but they go out together. So, Mike, let me get your thoughts on what happened today.
Yeah, well, that happened, right? So we talked a little bit about last week how whether or not they were tied together at the hip, they kind of came together. Ziegler came in first, but they kind of knew that they were going to bring in McDaniels, or he knew he was going to bring in McDaniels right after that. We talked a little bit about how, Ziegler he's maybe not the worst GM in the world, but definitely not the best type of thing. I didn't think they were tied together, but like I said, once the organization moves on, I think I said this last week, organizations, when they move on, they tend to clear house, man. And especially if they weren't getting the job done together, they cleared them out, just like I figured they would do. They also cleared out the Lombardi, the offensive coordinator. So I don't know how that one happened. It happened the next day, but he was. I didn't hear the whole story on that one, but he's gone too. So apparently, all three of them were tied at the hip.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it was kind of odd, I guess, from what I heard was that nobody in the building really knew it was going to happen. It just really happened overnight. And next thing you know, people were on Twitter and, the Vegas Raiders put out a Twitter and they put out a post and it said, hey, these guys are gone and we're going to get rid of them. So, Matt, what's your thought on that, brother?
First of all, I'm happy. Second of all, they are all tied at the hip when they were brought in. The way that Mark Davis brought these guys in, they were all brought in together. And like I was telling some people earlier, you let one go, you're going to let all of them go. Like I said, they're a package deal. So, it's not big news that they let all three of them go, but it is big news that they all three got fired at the same time. I'm just surprised it took so long too. This should have happened like the day after the Lions game, honestly, to tell you the truth. So I don't know why it took so long, if there was some stuff with the free agency going on with all that or what's going on, or I don't know, but it should have happened sooner for me. But I'm happy it happened. Hopefully we can get back on track.
All right, Tony, what's your thoughts on this, brother?
Man, you had said something about being hype, and that's a good word for it. But he did bring up a phrase of we're in the production-based business, like, and he's trying to make that change away from where we were going and getting back to being Raiders. And the passion that he exudes is exactly the lifeline that this fandom needs at this moment. We'll see how it goes from here, but I really like the move. The passion really got me hyped for a season that was directing me not towards being hyped. So I'm really excited about this move.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, guys, we all said it here. Hey, we are a league that, hey, what have you done right now? Let's look at what the Raiders have done ever since he's taken over. Offensively, we said, hey, you're an offensive guru. We're going to give you all the toys you need in order for you to succeed. So we got rid of Carr. You know, I'm not going to say I'm a Carr like writer or, a lover or whatever, but he was beloved by the fan base. You got rid of him, right? You said, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Guys, offensively, we are worse now than when he took over. Just straight up. And I mean, like, we thought we were going to get this shiny new toy and everything like that. Man, we spent, I think we're the highest paid offense or something like that in the whole league. I mean, we got the number one wide receiver. We got the number one running back, but we can't score more than 7 points in a game. Guys, that's why he's gone. In my opinion, you're supposed to be this guy that, hey, we're going to come out here. If we were scoring 45 points a game, he wouldn't be fired right now. He would still be with us. And let's just be real about that. Offensively, you were not producing. He wasn't doing his thing. Now, I know he had a plan. He wanted to bring Patriots West. Now, at the end of the day, it didn't work out. Every coach has a plan. Things don't work out. Now we move on. We're on to Antonio Pierce. So, fellas, we got an interim head coach. Right now, I want to know what your guys' thoughts. What's a successful season with the interim head coach that we got right now? If you guys see Antonio Pierce, what does he have to do in order to win the job? And two, what are you guys looking for right now? Are we starting to look for another coach, or do you give this guy a chance to win the job? And hey, let's start with Tony on this one.
If he gets us to on the fringe of the playoffs and an over 500 record, I can see him staying. If he doesn't, I can see them looking elsewhere, but possibly keeping him. It just really depends on how the output and the way that we produce on the field in these next few games is really going to determine, for me personally, if I believe we should keep. I don't really have much of a say, but my thought process is we made that mistake before. If he's even close to being what we can get out of anybody else, I say you stay with him.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, what's the game plan there?
I agree with Tony on that. I mean, if you take us to the verge of a playoff, or you even get us into the playoffs, we don't do what we did with Bisaccia. Or with Bisaccia, we don't let him walk. You give him the chance and you let him see and you let him prove himself. My only downfall with having him is he's a defensive coordinator, and it kind of worries me because he's never called offense. I don't know how big of a, maybe he has. I think we picked up a new offensive coordinator, I believe.
I think we promoted the quarterback coach.
Yeah, Bo Hardegree. So we picked him up. So maybe he calls the plays, and we just kind of keep him on, the head coaching side, just kind of keeping everybody together, which hopefully that works out. But on the other hand, if he's calling plays, I don't know how that's going to work out with him being a defensive minded coach and playing defensive, linebacker his career. So be my only downfall. But yeah, like I said, to keep him, verge of a playoff or a playoff run. You don't pass him up. You give him that chance and let him prove himself.
No, I got you, brother. All right. Hey, Mike, what's your thoughts on this?
Bro, what's a successful season for Antonio Pierce? He's got to win 6-7 games, right? I mean, that's how good he's got to be in order for us to move away from him, I think. He's got to make the playoffs. If he makes the playoffs, then we had a coach, Bisaccia, made the playoffs after Gruden was gone after midseason, and we didn't keep him. So that should tell you how much interim head coaches, they go quick, man. So even if they do well, usually one of the things I'll say here though is the one thing I don't think they did prior when they had Bisaccia do his thing and take us to the playoffs and almost win a playoff game, or I wouldn't say almost win, but at least had the chance to tie the game going into take it into overtime, right? Was the team? I bet the team had no input on that. You know what I mean? It seemed to me that back then the team loved Bisaccia. That he brought everybody together. He helped them navigate through the Henry Ruggs thing. He helped them navigate through a whole bunch of crap. The Gruden thing that was going on, and I don't think Davis put a lot of input or gave a lot of input to the players as they moved on from him. Here, as we kind of taking a different going a little bit of roundabout here, I think he took some input from the players to make this firing happen. I think he called in Davante Adams. I think he talked to Josh Jacobs. I think he talked to Max Crosby. And I think they all said the same thing, like, this isn't working. Let's move on. So I think, man, if he goes and he does his thing and he goes lights out, wins 6-7 games, even 5-6, gets us at least close to the playoffs to where we see some real potential there, I think it really should come down to what the players think. Can this guy get you to where you want him to go? Because we already saw a coach who had no kind of connection with his team. And that was really clear in these last 2 games. Davante Adams throwing his helmet. When you're asking Josh Jacobs in the locker room, how do you fix this? He said, that's not my job, right? Things like that. When he's saying it's not my job to fix this team. Okay, so now these guys are kind of like, it's kind of like you see everybody's disgruntled.
He lost the locker room.
Now we're being belligerent. We got the whole thing going on, and you completely lost your locker room. You completely lost your troops. You've lost everything that you already worked for. So my thought is this: if he does well enough to get it, I would say, maybe I'm being a little too overdramatic there, saying if he gets us to the playoffs, maybe that's wishful thinking. I would like to say if he gets us to the Super Bowl, we keep him, right? But that might be I may be going over, but I'm a Raider fan, man. I always think we're going to win the Super Bowl, especially when the season starts. But they got to give the team the input that they deserve. If not, you're going to see we're going to lose some players over that too. So, and I personally don't think we should be trying to trade or lose players when we got the team that we have, when they're more than capable of winning games, especially with the talent they have on offense. It's ridiculous that they can't score more than 7 points like they did last week. That drove me nuts, man. But that's what I think. I think he's got to do well enough for us to be able to keep him, hit the playoffs or not, or just before. And if he doesn't, then if he's got good potential, then we hang on to him. I know it was a long ways of saying that, but I think it needed to be said that the players need their input.
No, and I agree. I think just in listening, I think he got with the players. He probably called Max Crosby. He called Davante Adams. He called all the key players and he said, hey, guys, let's sit down. Let's talk. Let's see what's going on. And I really do believe that this time he took advantage of that and he said, man, I'm really going to take my players' input. I learned my lesson from my last time, because if you guys can see, Rich was loved by his players. I mean, Mad Max gave him that big hug, and that makes a difference. When a guy wants to play for you because he loves you, because he wants to give you everything he got because of that relationship with his players. That makes a total difference when you got a guy that's isolated up there like I'm the kingpin. I can't do anything wrong. Hey, you know what? I called this game plan. My guy threw 2 interceptions. I put this guy in this position, but it's not my fault.
I was just going to say that to you.
It's his fault.
So,
Yep.
Exactly. So it's a very difficult thing, guys. So when we look at that, we have to say, hey, what did he do, and what do we need? And I think we went the total opposite way now. You know, I look at Antonio Pierce, I look at a player's coach. You know, that's what we call that type of guy, is a player's coach. You know, he comes in, he hugs you up, he dabs you up, he pats you on the butt, he hypes you up when you need to get hyped up. McDaniels is more of a guy that was cold. He sits in the press box, or he does what he does. He calls the play, and, you know, he just looks at the execution. There's no personality to him. There's no, you know, like, give to him. So when people were expecting that out of him, I'm like, nah, man, this is Patriots West. You're never going to get an emotional guy, a guy that's a leader, a guy that's like, yo, follow me, right? And honestly, when he was with the Patriots, the guy that did that was Brady. Brady was their fiery leader out there. He's the one out there yelling and screaming, let's go, you know, having expectations. And now that you see it, I mean, like, obviously leadership has failed twice with him. You know, he did it in Denver. He did it now with the Raiders. And, you know, but again, man, I'm not going to beat this dead horse. We all know how terrible he was, and, you know, how terrible we went. But now we got Antonio Pierce, which I feel is going to give us a better feel. Our players are going to play harder for him. And you know what? In my opinion, in order for him to stay, what he needs to do is just gain the respect of the players and the love of Raider Nation. Once he gets the love of Raider Nation and the love from his players, bro, that team is going to be something, because this game against the Lions, we fought tooth and nail. I really did not feel like we were out of this game until the very end, you know, when we couldn't score anything on offense. But defensively, we're playing. So, yeah, I'm like, I can see why we hired a defensive coach. But now, guys, all right, let's get our GM hats on. Let's get everything going now. You're the GM. Now, Chad Kelly, right? He just took over. They say, hey, let's look around right now. Give me your top 3 coaches that you want to bring in and interview and say, hey, if Antonio Pierce doesn't get this job, these are the 3 guys I want to see come in, and give me the reasons why. Hey, Matt, we're going to start with you, brother. Who's the first guy you're bringing in? Give me guy number 1.
Man. So if I was bringing in a coach, I would have originally said Jim Harbaugh, but with all the stuff going on with him right now, I'm kind of leaning away from that. You know, we don't need any more distractions than what we've already got. Man, honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't really know who's all out right now that we could actually bring in. Like, honestly, off the top of my head, I'd have to look at some people that would be up for, you know.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We're going to come back to you then. Hey, we're going to come back to you. So, Tony, give me one guy that you're bringing in right now to say, hey, this is my first guy. This is my number 1 candidate that I'm bringing in.
I like Eric Bieniemy. I like even though he might not have had the final say in a lot of the play calling, but he was he formed a very devastating offense, and I would like to see that. There's a couple others, but I won't steal them just yet, because I'll let someone else see if they pick them too, because I can't take all the good guys. But there's a couple others that I could foresee happening. But if I was GM and my number 1 pick, I'd go after Eric Bieniemy.
All right. Hey, Mike. All right. Give me the number 1 guy you're bringing in to say, this is my guy, and why.
Man, can I go with the Josh Jacobs? That's not my job. That's not my, because I don't want it. I don't want that job, bro. I don't want it at all. I mean, Jim Harbaugh is always a good candidate, right? But you're right. There's some things going on. I mean, also, Pete Carroll had the same thing going on in his college days when he ran over to Seattle. Yeah. So it could be about the same thing. I mean, I like the guys from the McVay tree. I think those guys have really, left and done their thing. The Shanahan tree, those guys are actually good coaches, right? Man, but I don't want to jinx that at all, bro. Honestly, I don't want to do that. It's really hard for me to say, especially with coaches coming from where and coming from who's going to be good. That's hard for me to even call that one. You put me on the spot, but even then I still wouldn't have a good candidate for you because I suck at that, to be completely honest with you. I think this guy's going to be good. I think that guy's going to be good. And most of the time they suck. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's not my job.
You fit right in then, because that's exactly what our GMs have been doing.
Hey, absolutely. So here's the thing. All right. I've heard lots of names. Of course, you've already heard Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator, right? Hey, I've heard Harbaugh coming out of college. They say, with Harbaugh, I'm going to tell you like this. If we can get Harbaugh, I'm willing to bite the bullet as the GM. So that way, whatever it comes with it, I don't care. It's college football. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with our program here. And you know what? Honestly, I feel like as an evaluator for talent and as like that, he excels. Guys, let's be real. San Francisco started getting good when Harbaugh was there. I mean, everywhere he's gone, he's made an impact. Mm-hmm. And to make an impact, you can't find guys like that. So I really feel like he brings that Raider attitude, that, tenacity and just that hard work ethic that can really change a culture inside of our locker room. Now, we look at Bieniemy. They say that Bieniemy is not a player's coach. They say that he's difficult to get along with. Things like that. So are we looking at Bieniemy and saying, hey, how is he? How is he going to interact with our players? Does he fit with our players? How are we going to go about this where we say we're bringing in the best players, the best coaches, and it's going to work this time? Because I'm going to tell you right now, whoever we bring in, whoever does anything, man, they're in a tough spot. You are almost, we're not in a rebuild situation. We're in a win now situation.
What about,
so it's a difficult spot. Go ahead.
What if we bring back Bisaccia as coach? Is he up? I mean, he's only had a 2-year contract, didn't he? With, you know what I mean? So.
Well, here's the thing. He is a position
but if you're
coach.
Saying like player coaches, if you're saying like players coaches and stuff like that, if the players are already tight with that coach and they already, that coach and know how he plays and will let them do what they need to do to win and just have him there, being the players coach, rounding the guys together. Let's get the troops together. Let's get them all on the same field and march together. You know what I mean? But
no, I got you.
The only reason I say no to the Bieniemy is because we've already tried the Patriot way. We don't need to try the Chiefs way. I think we need to stick to the Raider way. So we need to find somebody that's going to bring us together and bring some Raider attitude out here. None of this Patriot attitude, the Chiefs attitude, the Bronco attitude. We don't want any of that. We need to create our own atmosphere and go with it.
No, I get what you're saying, but I think that's difficult because every coach is going to come from a different coaching tree.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, everybody's all hyped up on the Bieniemy and everybody's hyped up on this guy and that guy. But I know everybody's got a coaching background and, of course, a coaching tree of where they come from. Everybody does. I'm just saying, you got to find that guy that's got that attitude of what fits a Raider. And Bisaccia is the one that so far fits that mold. From what I've witnessed.
But does he come back?
If you offered it to him, I guarantee you he'd come back. All the players on that team are still there. Minus Carr and Waller. You know what I mean? Everybody else is still there.
I wouldn't mind him coming back, but I would take it almost as I wasn't good for you then, but I'm good for you now.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
Like it'd be I mean, they can get him, but it'd be a rough get.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, like, I like Bisaccia. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, I really think we did him wrong. I think we should have given him the opportunity to take over and, you know, do what he had to do. But at the same time, I agree with Tony. I'm like, right now, if I'm Rich Bisaccia, you better offer me a really nice salary. And I don't think we go out. And this time, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't think Mark Davis signs another coach for a 6-year contract. I really think this next coach is going to be on a 2 to 3, maybe 4-year.
I don't even see a 4-year max contract. I see like a 2 prove it yourself contract, 2-year prove it yourself after that, you know, or prove it.
And I mean, like, yeah. And if you want new blood, if you want a new coach, I can see them taking a contract like that. Now, you know, if you want a seasoned coach, a guy that is experienced, a guy that's been around the block, I don't think he's going to go like, hey, yeah, man, I'm going to uproot my family for a 2-year contract and probably not very much money because, you know, yes, everything comes down to money, you know, and you're going to be like, hey, man, we can't afford to be paying a coach $10 million while he's not even
2 coaches right now. So, you know, now we add a 3rd coach to it. So, you know, we have to almost go younger. We can't really afford a veteran coach right now. Not for a deal with what you're saying, you know, like if they're going to come out and ask for a certain deal, there's no way we can afford a coach like that. So we go young and let them have a 2-year prove it deal, you know, interim coach or whoever it may be, or up and coming, and let them prove themselves, you know. You go out, like I said, you go out and you go try to purchase a Jim Harbaugh or a Bieniemy, because Bieniemy is going to want a big contract. He's not going to want to sign a 2-year contract. Any of those guys like that, you know, they're going to want one. Now, like maybe the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson for the Lions, maybe you could probably get something worked out with the deal like that.
Then that's something I've heard. I mean, bringing in Ben Johnson from the offense, you know, that's something that's unique. I mean, obviously the Lions have been turning it around. What do you guys think about that? Go ahead, Mike.
I'll tell you what. When it comes to recycling coaches, nobody does it better than the Raiders, right? I think we got to be careful with going back to the past and trying to bring back old glories, man. We seem to do it often. We did it Art Shell, right? Art Shell,
yep.
Gruden, and then twice. Yeah, if we go ahead and bring back Bisaccia, it's going to be like we're kind of repeating the past. I will say this: if I could change my answer real quick, I want to make Champ Kelly's life really easy, man. I want the next head coach of the Raiders to be Antonio Pierce, bro. Because if Antonio Pierce is the head coach of the Raiders next year, that means he caught some lightning in the bottle, and he's the real deal. So that's my choice for the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, bro. Antonio.
Yep.
Let's go. Yes, sir. Hey. Like we said, win right now. All right, guys, let's move on from the coaching debate and, you know, all that stuff. Now, hey, the next part here, man, Jimmy G getting benched and AOC getting the promoting starting job as QB.
Why not?
I mean, hey, no, I got you. And I feel like, hey, it's not like it's something that we didn't expect. Let's be honest. I mean, hey, watching this last game, Jimmy G was throwing up alley-oops to everyone. I mean, it was
but
like,
us.
Yep. So, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I think we made the right decision when it comes to who we are putting in at quarterback. I know Raider Nation is hyped up. I know that a lot of us are hyped up here. But, guys, give me your thoughts on that and why it's a great move or why it's not a great move. Or, hey, are we going to draft a quarterback this year in the draft, maybe? And if we are drafting a quarterback this year in the draft, I want you to give me a name, all right? All right, Tony, let's start with you.
Hold on a sec. I'm drawing a blank. I'm a hold on a sec. I have something, but I'm thinking on something real quick. Someone else go first.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first to start with Jimmy G. I'll be the first to admit that I wanted him to start last week over AOC, and there's reason. totally wrong, because by the second quarter, I was already like, they got to get this dude out of here. I don't care who it is. Bring somebody in from the first row to come play quarterback. Like, this guy's not it right now, man. Anybody could play QB at this point. And also, the offensive line was a damn problem last game, like complete problem. There was some of the worst sacks ever. Like, these guys running free through the line, just crushing Jimmy G. So he was happy feet already by the second quarter. So I was wrong about that, for sure. I admit. But there's, that's the part about being a man. Sometimes you got to admit when you're wrong when it comes to, the things that you say. But I was completely wrong. Jimmy G is not the guy. He's not as good as Carr. I thought he was like the same. It was basically the same player with, playing less money. He's not. He's actually way worse. So I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Bring in AOC, we'll see. I mean, if the line plays as bad as they did last week, nobody's going to succeed in that position. It's just not going to happen, man. As far as, and here's the thing, if AOC plays halfway decent, when we're talking about like halfway decent, we're not talking about lights out. We're talking about like, let's say he plays like Carr. Okay. Do they end up drafting the QB, or are we stuck with AOC? Are we stuck with the next Carr? You know what I'm saying? So now that kind of scares me, because I'm like, oh man, what if this kid's just going to be another, middle of the pack QB, and we're like happy with that? You know what I mean? I want the lights out QB, So I mean, right now I think we got the 8th spot in the draft. I mean, shoot, there's plenty of quarterbacks out there. The ones that come to my mind right away is, Bo Nickel, Caleb Williams, but those guys will probably be gone, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, but by eight, yeah,
it's going to be hard, man.
There's usually 1 or 2, maybe 3 quarterback needy teams in, the very top of the draft. So that'll be interesting. All right, Matt, go ahead, bro.
Might take a trade. To get there.
Okay. All right. So, I like that. All right.
So
Matt, go ahead.
Back to the whole benching Garoppolo thing. I think they should have never even got him on the roster, honestly, to tell you the truth. Like, I was never one of those fans of, oh man, look who we brought in. We got rid of Carr and we brought this in, because that guy is glass, bro. Like, that dude has been glass since he's played for the Patriots, and it was just, why? I mean, yeah, he had a winning, record. Okay. Better than Carr's, but look at the teams he played with. Look at the lines they had. Look at the offensive power they had. It wasn't a pass happy team. We don't have anything right now. We can't even run the ball. If we can't run the ball, he can't throw the ball. And that guy's never had an arm. So every team knows he can't throw the ball deep. So what do? You stack the box, hold everybody over the middle, because that's all he can do.
Yep.
So you just eliminated Jimmy Garoppolo from the whole picture. Now, all you got to do is concentrate on Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Guess what? Now he's shut down. Guess what? We score 7 points a game. That's what we turned into. So I was never a big fan of getting Garoppolo.
Lying.
I think there was something else going on behind the scenes, and we ended up with Garoppolo. I don't know. I can't comment on any of that because I'm not 100% on any of that. I mean, there's rumors out there, but that's speculation. I can't say that that's what happened and that's why we got him, but I think we had rumors with Aaron Rodgers too, we even had rumors of trading up a bunch of draft picks. I even heard today that they were saying something about, who's that one that just went first overall this last year? Was it Bryce Young? Or who's the other one? Okay, so Bryce Young. Yep. So I heard this thing today about Bryce them Young. Saying that the Raiders were trying to tell everybody that Bryce Young didn't have, that he didn't have any talent. He wasn't that good. Don't trade for him. Don't get him, this and that, to try to fear people away from him so that he could fall to him. And then it came out that they tried to offer multiple draft picks for it to move up, and they ended up getting beat out. So, I think we roll with AOC. He's decent. He's got an arm. He's played well. He had his game. His first game was, he's a rookie, I wasn't expecting much of him, especially with our line, the way they've been playing. I wasn't expecting them to be this lights out, running all over the field, throwing balls, Joe Burrow, wasn't expecting that. I do hear what Mike's saying about, if we stick with him, do we keep a mediocre car again? And do we go with that? But even if he does do good, I still say we draft a quarterback. We still go after a quarterback. Even if he doesn't do good, or even if he does do good, still get that quarterback. Just in case we do end up with the mediocre car, we have that quarterback that can sit there and kind of learn the offense of the new coach that's coming in and his scheme and try to get him in that fold before we throw him in the mix like we're doing with AOC right now.
No, I got you, man.
Bro. I agree. But remember, I'm not saying that we shouldn't draft another quarterback. I'm just saying I'm a confused fan right at this point.
And there's so many holes to fill on the team that, maybe it's not the quarterback. Maybe we draft offensive line. Maybe we go after big bodies up front. Who knows? But if that's our problem and our quarterback plays well and our line is the problem coming down to the road, then that's, there's no telling, it depends on how he plays and how he can control that line and what he can do when that line collapses into his pocket, or into his lap, like they've been doing. So
I got you, man. I agree with you. And here's my thing. All right, guys, let's be real. All good teams stockpile players. For me, for the first time in my life, I want to see the Raiders draft the best player on the board. Don't draft an injured guy that we're starting to say, oh, he was going to be the best guy last year. Don't get me a guy, with a heart condition. Don't get me a guy with a knee problem. Don't get me all these guys that have issues. Get me the guy that was on the board that said, hey, he was the best guy available. That's why we drafted him. And if it didn't pan out, it didn't pan out. But that's the guy that had the stats that was available in that position. So that way we could bet big. I don't care if we have 3 left tackles. Because guess what? We can trade left tackles. We can trade QBs. If we're stockpiled at QB,
the Niners,
we can trade that to get players that we need to fill in another hole. That's exactly what I'm saying. If you look at the Patriots, the way that they built, they had Tom Brady, they had Garoppolo, they had this guy. And guess what they did? They traded all those guys to get all players that they needed to fill the hole. Hey, all right, Tony. So
I 100% usually am positive, and when I'm watching the game, and even though it might be a very negative game, I'm trying to find the good in all the play. I literally sat there and was furious that he couldn't get the ball. I mean, I was like, put in the rookie. Put him in. We can't do no worse. Why not? And now we're going to get a chance to see against a team that's going to match up very, very good for him. This is a very good matchup for him. So if he's successful, you still got to get a backup quarterback anyways. You got to you got to draft the rookie. You got to have somebody there that's in there. If not in the first, you got to find somebody that could be like a later round. But picking, like you were just saying, though, picking the best available player is going to work because there's holes in every position, so it's got to work. Anybody that's on the board, the top guy on the board is going to be a plug-in, probably, unless it's like defensive end or running back. There's going to be room for him. So I see a quarterback early if there's quality, but if the good ones are gone, you got to get the best player available. But the trade or the benching, 100% on board.
No, I agree. And I mean, like, let's look at it, guys. Jimmy G came in. We said, hey, we're going to bring this guy in. You know the system. This is somebody that was like, hey, you know the system. You've excelled in this. You know, you're Patriots guy, blah, blah, blah. He came in. He threw a duck. Then now we're saying, hey, let's see what we got with the young gun. You know, and now you say, cool, we got this young gun. We're developing him. It's like Mike says, we don't know what we got. It's going to be like at least a year or two for us to figure out what we have. So at the end of the day, what we need to do is say, hey, let's stockpile players. Let's look at the holes we have. Let's look at everything else, and then let's make it happen. Because, guys, we just have so many holes. Now, all right, we've talked quarterback benching. We've talked, hey, we got rid of, McDaniels. We got rid of Ziegler. We talked about a new coach. Guys, now we are past the trade deadline. The guys we got are the guys we got. So, what's the plan? I mean, do we go and say, hey, we're going to become this defensive powerhouse and then we're going to slugfest it? Or are we going to spread the ball around?
I think we spread the ball
Matt,
around.
Go ahead.
I think our coach, I think our, if he's a player's coach, and all the coaches gathered around this guy's going to listen to the players. He's going to let them do their thing, and he's going to let the offense be the offense, There's, like I said, it all comes back to our line, honestly, but we have to be more aggressive on offense, man. We can't be a defensive powerhouse and slugfest it because we can't. With the line that we have, with every time we snap the ball, man, we got 11 players in the backfield in our lap. So it's either the offensive line coach is dropping the ball somewhere, or it was the scheme that McDaniels was running that these guys just weren't getting it, or I don't know what's going on, because we went from the best running back last year and one of the best offensive lines towards the end of the year to being like, man, we just picked up these guys as rookies and nobody knows what's going on. They just get pushed over, power thrown to the ground. We got, like I said, 11 guys in the backfield. You got 13 guys open in the back for us, and their whole team's already in our pocket, So
no, I got you. So guys, check this out. All right. One player for the Lions had more total offense than the whole Raiders team for the whole game.
It's embarrassing, man.
Who did we pick up on our first round pick this year? Tyree Wilson, correct? Tyree Wilson, right? What has he done so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Guy you're talking about right now, Gibbs. We passed him up 3 freaking times, man. We could have got that guy. We could have had that guy on our, think about it, Oh, I know.
You know how many times I've said that? In the past 20 years, hey, let's just, I'd be like, if you want to run it back for draft pick after draft pick after draft pick.
Well, I'm just saying our draft picks, in general, years. I'm not talking about just any draft pick from every team. I'm talking our picks in general. We suck at drafting. We got to change that around. No. We passed up a guy like that 3 times to get the guy that we have first round, first.
No.
But we passed him up because we had the leading rusher.
But we didn't even sign the league-leading rusher. We tagged the league-leading rusher, and then we held out on him and almost rescinded that tag from him. You know what I mean? Like, if Josh McDaniels and Josh Jacobs weren't getting along and they did some things like that, wouldn't you think you would need a running back if you weren't 100% you were going to keep the top leading rusher?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, you would think that you can do that or you can do another thing. So we don't know how they felt at that time, whether he was going to sign back or not. And again, obviously the decisions they made, Jacobs came back. So they were like, hey, we didn't need to fill that hole because we already had that player. Now, and then just like in any draft, we're going to hit on some guys. We're going to miss on some guys. Some guys come out of the blue. You're like, hey, who was that guy in college?
Max Crosby. Greatest example of it. You know what I mean? But
exactly.
I'm just talking like instead of us going out on a first round pick and reaching on these guys, like you said, we need to pick the best player on the board. We can't be just reaching on like third round guy we could have gotten a third round and pick him up in the first round and being like, oh yeah, we got potential in this guy. But yet you don't, he played with a line of other people that had greater potential and it made him look good.
No,
so
absolutely.
We got to quit doing that.
Absolutely. And that's why we said, hey, pick the best player on the board. Yep. All right, fellas. So now we're gonna get started to the last part of this, episode. Now, for the last part, what we're gonna do is a pick'em challenge. All right, we're gonna start our pick'em challenge for the week. All right, so I'm gonna name off all the NFL games. We got, Team Gunny. We got Team Bova. We got Team Raider Matt. Yo, at the end of the season, the Matt Swami, at the end of the season, fellas, we got a trophy getting made. All right? We got a trophy getting made. The champion, we are going to mail it to you, and you can have it for the year. Next year, we'll do the same thing, and we'll send it around, all right? So, we're going to start with this one, all right? Let's get it. Titans, Steelers, all right? Hey, Tony, give me your pick for this one.
Titans. The rookie quarterback is coming off a very good game, so I can see him using that momentum and to wipe. Yeah, Titans all day.
All right. Hey,
Pittsburgh.
Matt, what do you got
against that?
Ooh, I'm already winning.
I don't think that rookie quarterback can handle the Steelers defense, man. That Steelers defense is a freaking madhouse, bro. Every game.
All right, Mike.
I'm going to take the Steelers 2-1 with some game tape on Will Levis.
Look at that. Yeah, see?
There we go.
Like a Stidham.
I like that.
I'm already
That's all you need is that one game of tape.
Just one game, baby. It's that Stidham tape, right?
Yes, sir. All right, we got Dolphins, Chiefs. All right, we're going to start with Mike on this one.
Oh, man. Where are they playing it?
Germany.
They're playing they're playing in Germany.
Germany. Shit.
Yeah.
Give me the Chiefs.
Wow. All right. Hey.
Chiefs, just because they know they've been there, done that. A German game. I think Miami, fresh new up type team. They don't really get down.
All right. All right, guys. Let's go.
I'm taking Miami in that game. Only because I watched Miami win in London, bro. I mean, they've got the wins over there. They got a big fan base over there, man, overseas.
You got me there because I had no
idea. Not this year. They've played there before, not in Germany. Germany is the first Germany game there is. But like overseas, they got wins over there, and they got one against us.
Yeah,
they got one against us.
They got fan base
overseas.
Yep. All right, Tony. Dolphins, Chiefs.
I don't think Mahomes shits the bed 2 games in a row. I got to go with KC.
I got you. Hey, that makes sense. It's been a long time since they lost 2 in a row.
I'm the only one with Miami.
All right.
Okay. All right.
That might be the tiebreaker.
Pittsburgh's taking the first game.
I'm already wins already.
Pittsburgh's already win. All right, that's going to look good behind me.
All right. Hey, Vikings, Falcons. All right. So, hey, let's start with Tony on this one.
Is there a tie option?
Yes, there is. There is.
Yeah.
Falcons, just because the simple fact the quarterback situation in Minnesota is pretty dire. So.
No, I got you. All right, Mike. Vikings, Falcons.
Man, everything about me wants to say Vikings, but I'm gonna take the Falcons. They just brought in a new QB, and I think that's gonna take a minute. So Falcons for me.
Gotcha.
I think Matt can go with the Falcons on that, man. I think I'll agree on that game. I don't think the Vikings got the quarterback.
Oh man, I guess clean sweep. Nobody believes in the Falcons right now. Or in the Vikings. In the Vikings, my bad. All right. Yeah, no. Hey, Bears, Saints. Hey, let's start with Matt.
Oh, man. I'm going to go New Orleans on that one. Only because, Derek Carr's got 300-yard games in a row right now. And, I mean, they're decent. I'm not saying they're the best. Yep. They look good, or they're the greatest, but they're winning. So, the Bears, they're not. So,
go on.
The only team they can beat is us.
Gotcha. All right. All right. Mike. Bears, Saints.
I gotta go Saints. Even though this is one of those games where Carr throws for like 3 picks and a touchdown and 115 yards, probably. You know,
Dude, he could still 300 yards and 10 picks, dude. That guy.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Tony. Bears, Saints.
I gotta go with Saints. Tyson Hill. Tyson Hill. It's crazy. Like the stuff that you can do with that guy is great. And in fantasy, Zane has a tight end, so that's great for me.
Yeah.
I'll take that all day. But yeah, Saints with an easy dub.
All right. Hey, now we got Rams, Packers. Let's start with Mike.
Give me the Rams. I think that's an easy call.
All right.
I'm going to take Green Bay on that only because Stafford's hurt still. I don't know if they got that quarterback.
All right. Tony, tiebreaker.
Oh, gosh. I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to go with Matt here. Go with
trying to stay
Green
up in that
Bay.
win column.
Right, yeah. I'm trying to divvy up my picks depending on who goes first.
My name's Nick Swami for a reason, bro.
Right. Strategy, my guy. Let's go.
Different kind of strategy right there. I like it.
Hey, Tony.
Trying to come out 500.
Right.
Tony, Commanders, Patriots.
Fuck. Another 0-0 game.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna go Patriots.
Okay.
I think that without the 2 defensive leaders that they lost, I don't see much pressure coming up. And maybe Mac Jones can pick them apart, even though he don't have Bourne with his injury now. I see the Patriots getting that W.
All right, Matt. Commanders,
I got New England
Patriots.
on that game simply because of the fact that they just traded away their players. I'm not saying it's going to be Mac Jones that starts. It could be Zappy, but I think the Patriots are going to win that game.
Ramondre Stevenson.
All right, Mike. Patriots, Commanders.
Give me Sam Howling at the Moon Howl, baby, over there with the
I forgot about him. I forgot
All
about
right,
him.
Commanders.
I forgot about old Sam Howell
Yes,
there.
sir.
Yeah.
Just tearing it up this year.
You don't need a defense if you got an offense.
Yeah, he is. You ain't lying.
That receiver they got.
He's looking good, man.
What's his name? Actually, hey, can I? You know what? I want to switch my pick. Can I switch my pick on that one? I'm gonna go. I want to.
Yes, you can.
I want to go Washington on that game.
Go ahead.
Now that, yeah.
All right,
I'm taking Washington.
Washington now.
Yes. Go Washington.
You got convinced.
That game. Thank you.
I didn't even think about that, man. That QB, that receiver they got over there is fucking badass too, bro.
Yeah, yes.
All right.
No, yeah.
But he's playing lights out.
We got Seahawks, Ravens next, fellas. Matt.
That's gonna be a good game. Yeah, where are they at?
Where are they at?
Give me Baltimore.
At Baltimore.
Give me Baltimore.
I think it's at Baltimore. All right, Mike.
Baltimore. At home.
Tony. Go ahead. Go ahead. All right. Hey, go ahead, Mike. What were you saying, Baltimore?
No, I said
it was Seattle. I'd take Seattle.
All right, gotcha.
Baltimore.
All right. So, hey, we clean sweeped in Baltimore on that one. All right. Tampa Bay, Texans.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay on that one.
Where are they playing at?
They are playing in Texas. So go ahead, Mike.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go Texans, man. For this is for my boy Houston, man, big Texans fan. Shout out to the boy Bear out there.
You heard that? Big shout out. Yo, Tony.
Tampa Bay, TB, Tony Bova. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
There you go.
All right, hey, you guys sit down. All right, let's go Cardinals, Browns. Mike.
Where are they playing at? I don't think it matters, but
Cleveland.
Give me the Browns. Browns has got to be cold out there already.
Yeah, that's no lie, man. It's cold up there. All right, Tony.
Browns.
Matt. All right, guys, let's go Colts, Panthers, and let's start with Matt.
Man, give me the Panthers on that one. Give me Carolina.
That's 2 in a row for the Panthers.
Yep. Hey, man.
Yep.
Things happen. Let's go, Mike.
Ooh.
Give me the Colts.
Ooh.
Taking the Colts.
Okay. All right.
Oh, man. Now, hey, Tony, tiebreaker.
Colts. I don't think. They ain't winning 2 in a row.
The Colts should just.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't trust Minshew, man. That dude's he's a good quarterback, but dude, he's a Garoppolo, bro. He's
It's
a
all about
Garoppolo,
the
dude.
stash.
He throws a lot of picks too, bro. I watched that dude throw a lot of picks.
I'm gonna coin this name right now. All right. And I'm going to make you guys remember it because right now we are leading the league in interceptions, all right? It's not Jimmy Garoppolo. It's Jimmy Pecopolo. Got it?
What about instead of Marcus Russell, you add them together and it's Garoppolo.
Hey, that's what we look like out there.
All right, dude.
All right, fellas. Now we're going to go on to Giants Raiders.
Ooh,
so
I got this one.
Go ahead, Tony.
First off, happy birthday to TBH superfan Gorilla Rilla. It's his birthday today. So you know what I'm picking. Raider Nation all day. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
I think, oh, man, I'm going Vegas all day on that one. Give me the odds.
Mike.
I'll give me the Giants.
Oh, he likes Waller.
Give me the Raiders.
Whoa.
Give me the Raiders, baby.
All right. Hey, and for this game, in case we have a tiebreaker, give me the score. All right. Mike, what's the score?
The Raiders Giants game?
What's the score?
19 something stupid. 1916. That sounds about right. Raiders 1916.
All right.
All right.
Go a little bit higher. I'm gonna go. I think this is our first game we get over 21 points, man. I'm gonna go 27-14.
I like it.
Tony.
35-17 Raiders.
Oh man.
Ooh,
All right.
Offensive explosion this game.
Hey, they're ready to run through them walls like we were. They're hyped. They're ready to play.
I like it.
Let's go. I like it. Hey, I hope you're right. All right, guys. Now I got Cowboys, Eagles. So go ahead, Tony, with the blowout on offense. Let's go. Let's start on this one.
Fly, Eagles, fly all day. Can't. They're gonna take it to them. Eagles.
Mike.
Where are they playing at?
Eagles.
Eagles all day.
Yes, sir. Give me Philly all day, only because
gross.
I will never pick the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys, bro. I wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Nope, that ain't my nope.
Gross.
Them and the Broncos, bro.
All right. No. Oh, damn. All right. Hey, I got Bills, Bengals. Mike.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one. Where are they playing at in Buffalo?
In Cincy.
Ooh, in Cincy. Oh, man, that's a tough game to call, man. And Joe Burrow's starting to look like himself again, too. Give me the Bengals at home.
All right. Matt.
I got to go with Mike on this one, man. I'm going to take the Bengals on that. Joe Burrow's looking good. I was just watching his game right before we got on, and he was looking good, man. 18 completed passes in a row, broke his own record. Whew. Yep.
He's playing legit. He's playing legit. All right, Tony.
Bills Mafia. Comes to another W.
Yeah, that's a big old
wow.
All right. Okay. All right.
Let's see.
You got like 4 upsets in there.
Bad shit crazy.
Right?
That's what I do. Parlay all these W's.
Last game, all right? Last game. We got Chargers, Jets. Let's start with Matt.
Man. Where are they playing at? The Jets? At the Jets.
The Jets.
give me the Jets, on an upset on that one. I think everybody's going to pick the Chargers. I'm pretty sure they're probably favored in that one. So give me the Jets.
Thank you.
All right, Tony.
Chargers. For sure. I mean, I Herbert's gonna have a passing.
Hey, but
all over that defense. He's gonna be passing all over that defense.
Before you answer your next question,
shred him and shred.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you guys off. I'm sorry about that. Before you guys answer your next question here, New York Jets win this game, and the second head coach gets fired, and Brandon Staley with the Chargers.
Ooh, that's a good call.
Bold prediction.
Bro.
Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one. We'll see if it happens. All right, Mike. Last one.
Hey, man. Charge on D's. I'm going with the Jets, bro.
Oh, man. All right. So we got the Jets. All right, guys. So we ended up doing the last part of the first segment right now. And what we like to do for this part of the segment is, hey, do we got anything that we want to say? Any rant? Anything like that? Guys, what do we got?
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for what we're gonna be doing, man. I'm this last game, I was just, man, I couldn't even be around my people, bro. Like, I wanted to punch holes in walls, bro. Like, I couldn't even show my face around the team because I was just fucking irritated. I couldn't even imagine what the players were feeling like, bro. Like, oh, I was a fan and I could feel their fucking pain and suffering, man. Having to fucking live through that guy's fucking garbage for 2 years, man. Just nope. I'm glad we got rid of that guy. Glad Mark Davis is, kind of using his head. He's still Mark Davis. Hopefully he can get better at this, picking coaches, and maybe he gets this one right and we move forward and we forget the whole era of Josh McDaniels and this Patriot way crap, because like I've been saying, man, I'm pounding my fist for a fucking Raider way, baby. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. All right, Mike. Thoughts?
Couple things. I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why the what's his name, Ziegler, got fired was because he made no moves. You know what I mean? During the trade deadline. And one thing that stood out to me in today's press conference with Antonio Pierce is a little bit later in what you had played there. He was talking about AOC being the quarterback, and he said he gives us the best chance to win and everything. He said what he basically said is he's got to protect the young rookie quarterback, and he knew that, and Josh Jacobs knows what that means for him. So it was something in that order right there. So I foresee a lot of a big healthy dose of Josh Jacobs in this next game. I think they're probably going to try and really pound the ball on the ground and try to get AOC those easier looks in that play action game. No,
and I agree with you. So, and I'm going to be quite honest as well. I think Ziegler, the nail in the coffin for him was saying, hey, we got the players. It's not the players are not responding. I know it probably went something down like that, where he was like, no, it's not Josh's fault. It's, the players are not making it happen. They're the ones messing up. But I think that was the nail in his coffin, like you said. And I agree with you 100%. Later in the press conference, he comes out and says, hey, guys, we got to protect them. And how do you protect a young quarterback? By playing really good defense and pounding the rock. So, hey, don't expect us to be like this high-powered offense, but I guarantee you we're going to look a lot better than we did. All right, Tony. Hey, any thoughts from you, brother? Go ahead.
They'll have some sort of identity, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what we talked about last week. Hey, do we have an identity? I think we'll have one now. So, hey, Tony, let's finish off with your thoughts, brother.
I haven't been this excited for a mid-season game when we've been under 500 in a long time. People have been like, and this goes, people are voicing their opinion, and there's so many podcasts and pages that were fired, making shirts fire McDaniels, and yes, should have been gone. But now they're going, look, they listened to us. So, they need to not listen to us, the fans, and listen to the locker room. And when they do so, they're going to see someone that's willing to put everything on the line every play. I'm excited to see a passionate game plan. Offense slamming the ball down the middle, defense flying all over the field, smacking people in their mouth, maybe taking that 15-yard penalty if it's, close. Not saying to go out and hurt nobody or hit nobody bad, but hey, play with some intensity that might draw some looks. Like, play passionate football. Get out there and give it everything you got, and by far you'll have this fandom right behind you.
Yep.
No, I agree with you there, man. And for me, it's this, all right, guys. We made the decision. We made the change, right? Now, Raider Nation was clamoring for this, saying, hey, we need to make this change. Now, here's my challenge to Raider Nation, all right? Guys, we got what we wanted. Let's pack our home stadium. Let's cheer hard for our team. Let's realize that, hey, this is not the all answer that everything is going to change, that we're going to be winning every single game. It just doesn't happen overnight. But Raider Nation, we need to get out there. We need to support. We need to get to the game. We need to be in the stands when our team is playing at home and support that. All right. Now that we got this, now that we said, hey, Josh McDaniels, get out of here. Ziegler, get out of here. You suck. You suck. Hey, guess what? Now it's time for us to battle down, clamp down, go support our team, get in that stadium and be like, Raiders all day, baby, because that's what we got to do. That's how we got to band together. Now it's time for the nation to band together, become one family, and ride, baby. So that's my challenge to you, Raider Nation. If y'all can hear us, get out in that stadium, go support, and be there for your team. All right, guys? Hey, if nobody else has nothing, as everybody knows, hey, at the end of the day, it's all about one nation. It's about one team. And it's about all about
Raiders, baby.
Raiders. Let's go.